Okay, back with Gareth Southgate here. Always first with your hands up. We'll start with John Cross from the Daily Mirror.
Hi Gareth, congratulations on the win tonight. It felt like a bit of a moment in time, Gareth. It's 100 goals, some really exciting performances from young players. You know, Phil Foden was outstanding, obviously 2 goals. That must give you so much excitement for the future.
Yeah, well, I think we're very conscious of a crop of young players coming through that we think will be fabulous for England for years to come. And I think it was great for the public to get a glimpse of that. They were surrounded by some excellent professionals, and those senior players have been outstanding, you know, in the last couple of months in particular. And in the last 3 days, they really set the tone. It would have been easy for us to not perform well tonight. There was every excuse possible to not perform well. But that wasn't the mentality of the seniors. I have to say the captain led that right from the start. He led the training. You could see his mentality for the game. We were bitterly disappointed not to get the win against Belgium and not to achieve what we wanted to through the autumn. But tonight we got a good balance of solidity to build with the ball, and then some real creativity, which we knew was probably our best chance to open up what's always a tough nut to crack in terms of Iceland. So lots of exciting performances, 10 debuts across the autumn, a lot of lessons we have to learn as well.
Phil was terrific for you. I mean, bearing in mind what happened, just a couple of months ago, he's clearly taken the lesson on board. You know, with that performance tonight, that again must be incredibly encouraging for a real talent.
Well, I mean, tonight's performance is why we picked him in September, because we know that's what he's capable of. I'm really pleased for him and his family to have the experience that he had in September. Is really tough for a youngster, and we all make mistakes. What we were intent on doing was making sure that when he came in this month, which is a difficult situation to be in, you're walking through the door and you're looking at everybody's faces, and the last time you saw them was complicated, and it took him a few days, I think, to settle into the camp and start to smile a bit more and relax a bit more. And important, we got him on the pitch against Ireland, and then tonight we felt was a really good game for him and for us to have players like him and Jack and Mason and Harry to link. So yeah, I'm really pleased. We know what he's capable of doing, and he's one of a few that are going to be very exciting over the next few years for England.
Thanks, John. Dom Smith from englandfootball.org.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Dom.
Just a question about the overall international break. Looking at it, obviously the crucial game against Belgium ended in defeat, and there were wins against Ireland and Iceland. So overall, when you look back at this, and you'll have a few months to do that now, does this go down as a positive international break or more negative in your opinion?
Well, I think we will look at the whole autumn, and we feel we've made a lot of progress. 10 debuts. September really, really complicated. We shouldn't have been playing. In September, and that really got everything off to a bit of a negative footing because the players weren't fit. They weren't sharp. We had to think about who could be on the pitch for however many minutes. Really, really complicated. The next 2 months, I think we improved by working with the players. It's been fabulous for us to have that coaching time and time to work with the team, and I feel that they've improved. Ironically, our best 2 performances, certainly the 30 minutes against Denmark with 11 and the game in Belgium, ended in 2 defeats. So we've been very, very close to achieving the objective, but we've also got to recognise there's lessons we've got to learn from this period. We created dramas for ourselves on and off the pitch, which made life more complicated. We've been nowhere near availability of all of our players, and we've got to have a look at why that's been. and reflect on that. So that is the balance, really. I think we've definitely improved. I think the players have, the longer it's gone on, connected more. We were 10 months without any football, so at international level, that's a huge period. And this, what's pleased us in particular is that having lost almost half the squad from Russia, we're now seeing some depth coming through, and we've been able to give the England supporters a view of what the longer term future will be. And I think we've been right to invest in those players, because some of them are going to be ready now, some of them are still developing. They're hugely exciting, but I think we've been right to try to invest time in them.
Thanks, Dom. Next, Anish Dogra from the Black Collective and Media in Sport.
Evening, Gareth. It's been a whirlwind year full of highs and lows, and although we may not have had the 2020 the entire nation was hoping for, it's still been an extraordinary 11 months. Looking on this year, what has there been anything that has pleased you?
Well, I think that the desire of the players that were here tonight to play for England was hugely pleasing, and to have the respect for each other, to not want to pull out under pressure, which has been difficult for them, to have the mentality to approach the game tonight in the right way. Without doubt, the most pleasing thing for me has been some of our senior players in the last couple of months really stepping forward, growing in their leadership, and that coupled with young players coming in who we always want them to feel able to express themselves and play in an England shirt as they do for their club. And I think we've seen that with those young players. Bukayo has had a fabulous couple of months, bar the header at the end, and so many good performances from the young players in particular.
Thanks, Anish. Okay, we've got two questions to finish with, starting with Mark Mann-Bryans from the Press Association.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Mark.
I think it's fair to say the past 3 months at least have been strange in certain times, but you're able to see your players in each of those months. Now you've got 4 months away from them before qualifiers and then the Euros. So in the current world, and assuming that you're sick to the back teeth of Zoom press conferences, how do you keep in touch with 30 individuals in the next few months?
Well, some of that will be via Zoom for sure, because we're obviously not going to be able to visit. It's very complicated visiting the clubs for games, but with the training grounds as well, it's hard to visit. It's hard. You're not allowed to go to places on consecutive days. There are some real restrictions on that, and we've also got to respect the clubs have got a job to do now. We tried to get the balance right of respecting the clubs in this period whilst working on our team, and we've tried our best to do that, but we also now have to take a step back, and there's 2/3 of the season to go. The club form is going to be important. We've learned a lot about players in this period, but there's still opportunities for players to play their way into the frame with their clubs. And of course, we're going to have such an intense schedule that that is a bit of a concern, because we've never had a winter break. The 1 year we had it, the championships were called off. And this year we haven't got it again. So we don't make life easy for ourselves, but fingers crossed the players can come through the period fit and well.
Thanks, Mark. And we'll finish with one from Rob Dorsett of Sky Sports News.
Hi, Gareth. I wanted to ask you finally about coronavirus. It seems to have been something that we've talked an awful lot about over the last 12 months or so, but there was an awful lot of criticism of international football going ahead in times like this, especially the friendly matches. And I know the FA have made huge efforts with the eco bubble and the lengths you went to. You managed to get through 8 internationals this autumn without a single positive test. Has that surprised you? And is it down to luck or judgment, or maybe a little bit of both?
Well, I mean, I'd love to sit here and say it was entirely down to the work that went on. We have to acknowledge that there's a little bit of fortune in that, because anybody could come in with a problem from having been outside. But I've got to say our medical team in particular, and all of our staff, not to get a staff test during the camps has been incredible, really. It's great credit to the discipline of the staff. We made sure that in the lead into the camps we didn't spend time together in case we lost people, and we didn't want to rule whole departments out. We've had a pretty strict regime throughout the camps, and without doubt that's affected everybody's enjoyment a little bit, because it has been restrictive and it hasn't been quite the same for everybody, but we knew that the privilege of playing and the importance of playing was something that we all wanted to do. So, and the other part is, we almost had herd immunity because so many of the players had it in the early stages. So, a bit of everything, but I must credit our staff. They've done an amazing job in really complicated situation.
Okay, everybody, we'll end it there. Thank you very much.